I sometimes look at my house and just wonder, is this incredible investment I've poured my heart and soul into really an asset, or is it kind of just a financial burden wearing a clever disguise? It's a question a lot of us have, I think. So today, let's actually dig into the numbers and find out together.
I mean, you've heard it a million times, right? Your home is your biggest asset. It's hammered into us as this cornerstone of building wealth. But what if that's not the whole story? What if the very thing we think is securing our future is, well, what if it's actually holding us back? It's time to put that old saying to the test. All right, to really get to the bottom of this, we've got to go back to square one. We have to start with the absolute basics. Because in finance, words have very specific meanings. And it all kicks off with understanding the simple black and white difference between an asset and a liability.
And here it is. It really is that simple. This isn't about appreciation or what it might be worth someday. It's all about cash flow, right now, today. Does it generate income for you, or does it cost you money just to have it? An asset pays you. A liability, yeah, you pay it. This one idea is crucial for everything we're about to talk about.
So let's just zoom in on that second term for a second. Liability. It's an obligation, a constant financial drain. It's anything that just keeps pulling money out of your pocket, month after month, year after year. So just hang on to that definition as we keep going here.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. Look at your own home on the left. The cash flow is negative, right? Money for the mortgage, the taxes, the insurance, it's all flowing out of your bank account. But now look at the rental property on the right. A tenant pays you rent, which covers all those costs and, ideally, leaves you with some profit. The cash flow is positive. It's pretty clear. One is a liability and the other is a true asset.
Okay, so if a primary home has negative cash flow, where exactly is all that money going? Let's break down the most visible expenses, the ones we all feel every month. The obvious cash drains that make your house a liability.
This is a big one. So many of us think of our mortgage payment like a forced savings account, Like we're building equity every single month. But that's a really dangerous way to look at it. The hard truth is, especially in the first, say, 10 or 15 years of a loan, most of your payment is just interest. It's going straight to the bank. It isn't building your wealth, it's just paying down your debt.
And wow, this number really shows you the sheer scale of that debt. Just look at that. Over $460,000. On a $400,000 loan, you end up paying the bank more in interest than the entire original loan amount. That is a staggering amount of money leaving your pocket forever.
Oh, and the mortgage? That's just the headliner. Then you've got this whole parade of bills that never, ever stops. Property taxes, which always seem to creep up. Insurance, and the really big one, maintenance and repairs. The roof will leak, the water heater will break. These aren't investments. They're just pure expenses you have to pay to keep things from falling apart.
Okay, so those were the obvious costs, the ones we can all see. But now let's talk about the single biggest, most overlooked financial drain of owning a home. It's something called opportunity cost, which is basically a fancy way of saying the potential money you're losing out on. I mean, just think about it for a second. That huge chunk of cash you used for a down payment and all those closing costs, we're talking tens, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars. That money got locked up, right? It's tied up in the house. So the real multi-million-dollar question is, what if it wasn't? What could that money have been doing for you all this time if it were invested somewhere else?
This chart shows the difference, and it is dramatic. Let's say you put down 50 grand. That first bar shows what happens to it based on average home appreciation. Hey, not bad. But look at the second bar. That's what the same $50,000 could have become if you just put it in a simple S&P 500 index fund. That massive gap between the two bars, that's the invisible drain. That's the potential growth you gave up.
So, where do we go from here? Now, I want to be super clear. The point of all this is not to say that buying a house is a terrible decision. Not at all. The goal is to just see it with clear financial eyes, to understand what it truly is, and maybe more importantly, what it isn't. And really, this is the core idea. Based on that strict cash flow definition, your primary home is not a financial asset. It's a lifestyle choice. It's a place to raise a family, to make memories, to feel safe. And that has an immense, incredible value that you can't put on a spreadsheet. But we just can't confuse that personal value with financial performance.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? A home gives you shelter and stability, and that is priceless. But a true financial asset exists for one reason: to provide income, to create profit. It's all about knowing the difference between the two and valuing each one for what it actually brings to your life.
So, we end with this question. Understanding that your home is technically a liability isn't a bad thing. It's actually empowering. It lets you separate your emotional decisions from your purely financial ones. And it forces us to ask a much better, much smarter question. Knowing all the costs, both the ones we see and the ones we don't, how do we choose to value the place we call home? Now that's a question worth thinking about.